So for the setup and teardown crew, you will meet at the conference room sometime in the morning at a particularly designated time. You'll get that later if you haven't gotten it already. And what you'll do is you'll come into the conference room and you will pick up what you see here is, for example, items that are supposed to go to Skog Brothers. So you'll take this. It also has a note inside here, Skog Brothers. So you'll take this, take it to your vehicle in the back, and then take it to that location. This is the same for wine walks and beer tasting events. Most of these items, most of these groups of items will have similar items in them. Many of them will have paper towels. Some of them will have some sort of sign that says, finish your drink inside. For wine tasting events, there will be some sort of aerator for the wine bottles and a wine bottle opener. And you'll also have a bucket to collect tickets and a bucket for people to pour out any additional wine that they don't want to taste. Now with beer tasting events, you're not going to have this. And then of course there's also the larger bucket that is to hold the ice to chill white wine or chill beer. Some locations will also have beer or wine that will need to be taken to that location also, and they will be in the same pile underneath this type of equipment to go out with it. So after you've collected your first round of items to take to locations, you will go through the back door here of the conference building, the Desert Plaza building, take the items into your vehicle, and then with the team, you will work your way down to the back doors of the appropriate locations. You may have to turn back around here and come up over here to Michael's Bistro and then work your way down the alleyway. Ideally, there will be one person driving a vehicle, another person that will be assisting taking items out of the vehicle and handing them off to somebody through a back door at each location. So there will be 1 to 2 people that will be going through the front doors at each location, and they'll be running to the back to open up the door and receive the items from the drop-off crew that are going through the alleyway. Now, the truck driver and the people on the main side of the street, they will both have walkie-talkies so they can stay in communication, so it makes it that much easier to figure out where each person is at the time, because it can be confusing since it's tough to figure out what location, what business you're behind when driving behind here. So that'll help. So once you have unloaded everything, you'll come back to the Desert Plaza building and upload again, and then continue on, whether you have to loop back around and continue with the next locations or continue forward to the other locations. Now keep in mind, this whole back alleyway is a one-way road. So you always want to come in from the west end and head east. You never want to come in the east end and head west. So when you're looking to load up behind the Desert Plaza building, you want to come in around through here or through here, load up here, and exit out this way. So for some locations like Roost, where they're not on this side of 3rd, but they're on the other side of 3rd, you'll just have to run the truck up to the front here and have a team come over and drop this stuff off. And once you're finished, just come back and check in at the Desert Plaza building with the setup teardown lead or the event coordinator. And then later in the day, teardown is going to be just the reverse, where you'll come through the back alleyway, you'll have somebody coming through the front, opening up the door and handing off the items, and just working your way down, loading up your vehicle, dropping off at the Desert Plaza building, and then looping back around whenever you're full after dropping your stuff off and picking up the rest of the locations. And when dropping the items off at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter them being separated out from each location, because they're all just going to be collected together later for storage. So you don't have to worry about keeping stuff separate from each location. So if there are 2 or more vehicles that are helping with the loading and unloading, each vehicle driver needs to have a walkie-talkie so everybody stays in the loop as to what is going on. In the event that the setup and teardown crew are understaffed to have trucks, vehicles going through the back alleyway and having somebody come through the front to let them in, instead you will just drive down 3rd here and do the loading and unloading in that fashion. As to whether or not there are enough people to do the former, that will be determined the day of by the setup teardown lead or the event coordinator.